Hello everybody. Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving deep into a heart-wrenching saga that's shaking the very foundations of Port Charles. A storm is brewing, and at the center of it is Josslyn Jax, a young woman torn between family loyalty and a secret mission that could shatter everything she holds dear. What started as a quiet rebellion has morphed into a full-blown crisis, with Josslyn playing a dangerous double game as an undercover agent for the World Security Bureau WSB. Her target, none other than her stepfather, Sonny, the notorious mob boss whose criminal empire she's determined to dismantle. Let's unpack this explosive storyline, filled with betrayal, hidden truths, and a family on the brink of collapse. The fuse of betrayal, Josslyn's secret mission. In the shadows of Port Charles, Josslyn Jax has been leading a life her family could never imagine. Raised by Carly Spencer to prioritize kin above all else, Josslyn's decision to align herself with the WSB is nothing short of a seismic shock. She's not just dabbling in danger, she's confessed to her handler, a steely operative named Vaughn, that her sole purpose is to bring down Sonny illicit operations from the inside. This isn't a fleeting act of defiance or a childish tantrum. It's a meticulously planned operation fueled by years of witnessing the collateral damage of Sonny's lifestyle. Josslyn's determination isn't born out of spite but from a deep-seated need to protect what's left of her fractured family. Her journey into the WSB wasn't a spontaneous choice, it was a path paved with tragedy. The tipping point came with the horrifying inferno at Charlie's bar, where her stepsister Christina Davis narrowly escaped a fiery death. Add to that the haunting memories of Michael near-fatal penthouse explosion and the untimely loss of Morgan, whose death still casts a long shadow over the family. Josslyn has watched, helpless, as the mob's violent tendrils claim pieces of her loved ones. Enough is enough, she's decided. Armed with WSB resources far surpassing anything Michael had when he attempted to undermine Sonny, Josslyn is a force to be reckoned with. She's undergone rigorous tactical training, learning how to navigate the underworld with precision, and her government clearance gives her access to intelligence that could spell disaster for Sonny. The mob boss, who prides himself on sniffing out threats, remains blissfully unaware that the greatest danger lurks under his own roof. A web of deception, Carly and Jack Brennan's dangerous dance. While Josslyn burrows deeper into her covert mission, her mother Carly Spencer is caught in a romantic whirlwind that's blinding her to the truth. Carly has fallen head over heels for Jack Brennan, a charismatic figure with a smile that hides a multitude of sins. Little does she know that Jack isn't just a charming suitor, he's the mastermind behind Josslyn's recruitment into the WSB. Night after night, as Carly shares intimate moments with Jack, dreaming of a stable future, he's been orchestrating a plan that places her daughter in grave danger. This isn't just a betrayal of trust, it's a personal violation that cuts to the core of Carly's maternal instincts. The layers of Jack's deception run even deeper. Not only did he draw Josslyn into the murky world of espionage, but he also aided her in concealing a dark secret, the death of Cyrus Renault. In a moment of desperate self-defense, Josslyn ended Cyrus's life, an act that could have destroyed her future if exposed. Jack ensured the incident was buried, crafting an airtight cover-up that kept Josslyn safe from legal repercussions. But at what cost? Carly, oblivious to her daughter's torment and Jack's machinations, continues to plan candlelit dinners and envision a life with a man who's been pulling the strings behind her back. When the truth inevitably surfaces, and it will, Carly's reaction will be nothing short of cataclysmic. Fans know that Carly's protective instincts are legendary. She's faced down mobsters and schemers for less. Jack Brennan might want to start looking for a safe haven, because a scorned Carly Spencer is a force of nature no one can withstand. Echoes of the past to Josslyn's path compared to Michael's. The family has seen its fair share of internal strife, but Josslyn's covert crusade echoes a past attempt that still stings. Years ago, Michael orchestrated a plan to infiltrate Sonny's organization by hiring Dex Heller to gather incriminating evidence. That scheme crashed and burned, leaving behind a trail of heartache and fractured relationships that took ages to mend. Josslyn, who witnessed the devastation firsthand, should have learned from her brother's mistakes. Instead, she's chosen a similar path, albeit with a far more lethal edge. And like Michael, who operated as a civilian with limited means. Josslyn is a trained WSB operative backed by federal power and a handler who's pushing her to strike hard. What makes her betrayal so gut-wrenching is the intimacy of her position. Michael attacked from the periphery, trying to shield the family by dismantling Sonny's empire externally. Josslyn, however, is a dagger in the heart, eroding trust from within the very walls of the Corinthos home. She's privy to private conversations, family dinners, and unguarded moments, all while collecting evidence that could send Sonny to prison for life. The emotional toll of this double life is palpable. Every smile she forces, every comforting word she offers, is tainted by the knowledge of her ultimate goal. Yet, she presses on, driven by a conviction that the ends justify the means, even if it means sacrificing the family bonds she once cherished. A mob boss under siege, Sonny's dual battle. Sonny Corinthos has weathered countless storms, rival gangs, federal probes, even bullets meant to end his reign. But nothing compares to the twin threats now closing in on him. On one front, Jen Sidwell, a ruthless adversary, has declared total war, intent on seizing Sonny's territory and power. The arson at Charlie's bar, which nearly killed Christina, was just the opening salvo in Sidwell's brutal campaign. On the other front, Sonny faces a betrayal so personal it could be his undoing, his stepdaughter's secret alliance with the WSB. Fighting enemies on two fronts is perilous, but when one of those enemies is family, the odds of survival plummet. For years, Sonny and Jason Morgan have mulled over escaping the mob life, dreaming of a quieter existence free from bloodshed. Each discussion ended with the same grim conclusion: leaving is too risky, with too many foes ready to pounce. Now, with external attacks mounting and internal betrayal festering, they're forced into a corner, scrambling to protect what's theirs. From Josslyn's perspective, this chaos is a golden opportunity. A distracted, weakened Sonny is a vulnerable target, and she's poised to deliver the final blow. Sources whisper that she's compiling a dossier of evidence in collaboration with Anna Devane and Ada Justine Turner, a file so damning it could lock Sonny away forever. Picture this: Josslyn sitting across from Sonny at a family gathering, laughing over shared memories, all while knowing she holds the key to his downfall. The duplicity is chilling. The heart of the conflict, a family torn apart. At its core, this storyline is about more than mob wars or undercover missions. It's about a family unraveling under the weight of its own choices. Sonny's criminal empire, built to provide protection and power, has instead become a curse that alienates his children. Michael turned against him once, and now Josslyn follows suit, each driven by the belief that they're saving their loved ones. But at what cost? The Corinthos clan has endured loss, violence, and betrayal, yet the deepest wounds are those inflicted by their own. Josslyn's actions, though motivated by a desire for justice, risk obliterating the fragile bonds that hold this family together. Next, we're diving into the electrifying drama unfolding in Port Charles for the week of July 7, 2025. This week promises a cascade of shocking revelations, heated confrontations, and heart-stopping mysteries that will leave fans on the edge of their seats. From the uncertain fate of Natalia hanging in the balance to a child's disappearance that sends shockwaves through the Quartermain family, the stakes have never been higher. Let's explore the chaos brewing in the lives of Sonny Corinthos, Lulu Spencer, Rocco Falconeri, and many more as secrets unravel and tempers flare in the heart of this iconic town. A grim discovery, and as news about Natalia's fate. The air in Port Charles is thick with tension as Anna Devane prepares to deliver a bombshell to Sonny Corinthos regarding the mysterious death of Natalia. With a somber expression, Anna clutches the autopsy report, her voice steady yet heavy as she declares, "I have the autopsy here." Laura Collins, standing nearby, can barely contain her anticipation. Responding with a breathless "and," the weight of this moment is palpable. Natalia's demise could either be chalked up to a tragic overdose of alcohol and tranquilizers or point to something far more sinister, like foul play. For Sonny, this isn't just about uncovering the truth, it's about his very survival. If the report implicates someone in his circle or, worse, himself, the consequences could be catastrophic. Rumors swirl that Natalia's final hours were spent in a haze of desperation, possibly seeking escape from the dangerous underbelly of Port Charles. Could her death be tied to the ongoing mob wars, or is there a personal vendetta at play? As Anna prepares to disclose the findings, Sonny's fate hangs by a thread, and the ripple effects could either vindicate him or drag him deeper into a web of suspicion and danger. A mother's wrath, Lulu's clash with Brook Lynn over Rocco. Family ties are tested to their breaking point as old wounds resurface between Lulu Spencer and Brook Lynn Quartermain. Not long ago, Brook Lynn unleashed her fury on Lulu for a betrayal that shattered her world, leaving scars that have yet to heal. The tension between these two fierce women has simmered for weeks, with Brook Lynn still struggling to forge a connection with Joe amid the chaos. Now, the tables have turned, and it's Lulu's turn to strike back with a vengeance. The catalyst for this clash is none other than Lulu's beloved son, Rocco Falconeri, who has been dragged into a painful reckoning about his origins. Thanks to Brook Lynn's actions, Rocco confronted his mother with raw, heartbreaking questions about the circumstances of his birth and the role Britt Westburn played in it. The betrayal cuts deep, and Lulu's protective instincts kick into overdrive. In a charged moment with Dante Falconeri, she seethes, "She came for our son." Her words are laced with a mother's ferocity, hinting at a showdown that could redefine their relationships. This isn't just a spat, it's a battle over family, truth, and the right to shield a child from painful legacies. As Rocco grapples with these revelations, one can only imagine the confusion and hurt swirling in his young mind, caught between the adults he trusts most. A son's anguish, Marco's quest for justice. Grief and rage collide as Marco, reeling from the sudden loss of his mother Natalia, channels his pain into a relentless pursuit of justice. The young man is haunted by guilt, tormented by the thought that he could have reached Natalia in time to save her from her tragic end. Each memory of her final days gnaws at him. Did he miss a cry for help, a sign of distress? But beyond his self-blame lies a burning suspicion that Sonny Corinthos played a role in her demise. Marco's gut tells him that the mob boss's hands aren't clean, and he's determined to make him pay. In a moment of raw emotion, Marco presumably turns to his father, Sidwell, with a declaration that reverberates with resolve. Sonny cannot get away with this. Sidwell, a formidable crime lord with his own axe to grind, doesn't hesitate to fuel the fire. He won't, he assures Marco, his tone icy and calculated. Sidwell has long sought to dethrone Sonny, and Natalia's death provides the perfect catalyst to escalate his campaign. Already, whispers of Sidwell's calculated moves, covert alliances, and strategic strikes ripple through Port Charles. Marco, caught between mourning and vengeance, becomes a pawn in a larger game, his personal loss weaponized in a war that could engulf the entire town. Will his quest for answers uncover a darker conspiracy, or will it lead him down a path from which there is no return? A parent's nightmare, Sasha and Michael's missing child. In a heartbreaking turn of events, terror grips the Quartermain mansion as Sasha Gilmore faces every parent's worst fear. Arriving at Daisy's crib, expecting to find her infant daughter cooing or sleeping peacefully, Sasha is met with a chilling void. Baby is gone. The shock sends her into a frenzy, her heart pounding as she races to the front door of the sprawling estate, desperation etched across her face. Bursting in, she finds Michael Corinthos and delivers the devastating news. "Michael, someone took our daughter." The words hang heavy. A punch to the gut for a family already scarred by loss and betrayal. Who could have taken little Daisy, and why? Theories abound. Could this be a calculated strike by one of Sonny's enemies, using the child as leverage in their deadly power play? Or does it tie to a more personal grudge, someone within their inner circle harboring a hidden resentment? As Sasha and Michael scramble to piece together the last moments before Daisy's disappearance, every second feels like an eternity. The Quartermain estate, once a bastion of wealth and influence, transforms into a fortress of fear, with security cameras, phone records, and whispered conversations becoming potential lifelines. The pain of not knowing gnaws at them, compounded by the haunting possibility that Daisy might be in the hands of someone with no regard for her safety. The search for answers will test their strength, their trust in each other, and their ability to hold on to hope in the face of unimaginable dread. The powder keg of Port Charles. What's next? As the week of July 7, 2025, unfolds, Port Charles teeters on the brink of chaos, with each revelation and conflict adding fuel to an already volatile fire. Anna's autopsy report on Natalia could either exonerate Sonny or tighten the noose around his neck, forever altering his standing in the town's dangerous hierarchy. Meanwhile, Lulu and Brook Lynn's feud over Rocco exposes the fragility of family ties, reminding us how quickly love can turn to loathing when a child's well-being is at stake. Marco's grief-driven mission for justice, backed by Sidwell's ruthless ambition, sets the stage for a confrontation with Sonny that could redraw the lines of power and in bloodshed. And at the heart of it all, Sasha and Michael's desperate search for Daisy underscores the personal toll of living in a world where danger lurks around every corner. Each storyline intertwines, painting a portrait of a community where loyalty is a currency often betrayed, and safety is a luxury few can afford. What will Anna uncover in Natalia's autopsy? Can Lulu protect Rocco from further emotional turmoil? Will Marco's suspicions about Sonny be proven true, and at what cost? And most pressingly, who has taken Daisy? And will Sasha and Michael reunite with their daughter before it's too late? Next, we're delving into a whirlwind of betrayal and heartbreak that's rocking the lives of Trina Robinson and those around her in Port Charles. A shocking act of disloyalty by Kai Taylor has set off a chain reaction of secrets, schemes, and shattered trust that threatens to destroy relationships and reputations alike. As Kai's decision to spill a critical piece of information to Drew Kane unravels a dangerous plot involving Curtis Ashford, the fallout promises to be explosive. Join us as we explore the intricate web of deception, the looming consequences for Curtis, and the devastating rift between Trina and Kai. With new twists and deeper insights into this gripping storyline, the seed of betrayal, Kai's disloyalty to Trina. In the heart of Port Charles, a storm is brewing, and it all begins with Kai Taylor's fateful choice to betray Trina Robinson's trust. Kai recently stumbled upon a private conversation between Trina's parents, Curtis Ashford and Dr. Portia Robinson, where Curtis revealed a desperate plan. He confided in Portia about his urgent need to track down a woman named Jacinda and pay her to fabricate a story that Drew Kane willingly took ketamine, rather than being drugged against his will. This scheme was meant to protect Curtis's interests, but it carried heavy ethical and legal risks. Kai, torn by what he overheard, shared the troubling news with Trina, hoping for her guidance. She was adamant, her voice firm with resolve, urging him to keep the secret locked tight and not breathe a word to anyone. However, Kai's loyalty to Trina was tested when he witnessed a scathing attack on Drew by Tracy Quartermaine during a high-profile press conference at the Quartermaine estate. Seeing Drew under fire, Kai's conscience wrestled with his promise to Trina. Ultimately, he caved, feeling a sense of duty toward Drew, who had been a mentor and supporter. Kai quietly tipped Drew off about Curtis's underhanded intentions with Jacinda, setting the stage for a confrontation that could unravel everything. This act of betrayal isn't just a breach of confidence, it's a crack in the foundation of Kai and Trina's relationship, one that may prove impossible to mend as the truth creeps closer to the surface. Drew's counterstrike, a trap for Curtis. With Kai's warning ringing in his ears, Drew Kane finds himself armed with the knowledge to outmaneuver Curtis Ashford before the latter can execute his risky plan. Drew, known for his sharp instincts in both business and personal battles, isn't about to let Curtis tarnish his name without a fight. Speculation abounds that Drew might take a proactive approach, setting up a meticulous sting operation to turn the tables. Picture this: Drew, with the help of a trusted private investigator, secretly records Curtis in the act of negotiating the bribe with Jacinda at a discreet location, a dimly lit diner on the outskirts of Port Charles. Perhaps the incriminating footage could capture Curtis handing over an envelope of cash, his voice low but clear as he instructs Jacinda to lie to the press about Drew's supposed drug use. If Drew secures this evidence, he could hold a devastating weapon. At the pivotal moment when Jacinda steps before the media to spin her false tale as per Curtis's design, Drew could seize the spotlight. With calculated precision, he might play the recording for all to hear, exposing Curtis's attempt at extortion in real time. The public humiliation would be immediate, reporters murmuring, cameras flashing, and social media erupting with the scandal. Such a move would not only clear Drew's name but also paint Curtis as a manipulator willing to cross legal and moral lines. The fallout could be catastrophic for Curtis, potentially leading to criminal charges and a severe blow to his standing in the community. Not to mention the strain it would place on his family ties with Trina and Portia. The unraveling truth: Curtis suspects Kai. As the dust settles from the press conference debacle, if Drew indeed exposes Curtis, repercussions will ripple through Port Charles with unrelenting force. Curtis, reeling from the public exposure of his scheme, would immediately begin piecing together how his carefully laid plans went so horribly awry. His mind would race through the short list of people privy to his conversation with Portia, and one name would stand out: Kai Taylor. Curtis, aware that Kai works closely with Drew and had access to the damning information, would draw a logical yet devastating conclusion. He would turn to Trina, his voice heavy with suspicion, suggesting that Kai must have been the one to alert Drew about Jacinda's arrival and the plot to frame him. Curtis might even recount a seemingly innocuous interaction he had with Kai days prior, where the young man's nervous demeanor now seems like a red flag in hindsight. For Trina, this accusation lands like a sucker punch. She had placed her faith in Kai, begging him to protect her family's secret, and the thought that he could betray her so deeply is almost unimaginable. Her heart would ache with doubt as she wrestles with the possibility that the person she trusted most has stabbed her in the back. Determined to uncover the truth, Trina resolves to confront Kai face to face, her emotions a volatile mix of hope and dread as she prepares for a conversation that could shatter her world. A heartbreaking confrontation, Trina faces Kai. Fueled by her father's suspicions and her own gnawing uncertainty, Trina seeks out Kai for a reckoning that promises to be both raw and emotionally charged. She tracks him down, perhaps finding him at a quiet corner of the park where they've shared happier memories, the contrast between past joy and present pain only sharpening her resolve. Standing before him, her eyes flashing with hurt, Trina demands to know if he tipped Drew off about Jacinda and her father's plan. Kai, caught off guard and unable to mask the guilt etched across his face, knows he can't spin a lie to escape this moment. With a heavy sigh, he admits the truth, his voice trembling as he explains his reasoning. He speaks of Drew's kindness and mentorship, how the man gave him opportunities when others turned away, and how he couldn't bear to see someone exploit Drew's trust. Kai insists that Curtis's scheme was fundamentally wrong, a moral line he couldn't allow to be crossed without intervening. He describes the internal struggle, the sleepless nights debating whether to speak up, hoping Trina might understand his perspective. But Trina sees only betrayal. To her, Kai's actions aren't about right or wrong, they're a direct violation of the confidence she placed in him. Her voice cracks as she tells him he's broken her trust in the worst possible way. If she can't rely on him to safeguard her family's secrets, how can she build a future with him? The weight of her words hangs heavy as she declares their relationship over, her anger mingling with sorrow as she admits regretting the day she let him into her heart. Kai's pleas for forgiveness fall on deaf ears. Trina is resolute, her decision final as she turns away, leaving him to grapple with the wreckage of his choices. The bitter end, Kai's loss and Trina's resolve. In the aftermath of their devastating confrontation, the fracture between Trina and Kai becomes an unbridgeable chasm. Trina, her heart hardened by the sting of betrayal, makes it abundantly clear that Kai is no longer a part of her life. She tells him, with a mix of fury and anguish, that she never wants to see him again, each word a dagger meant to sever their bond for good. The finality of her stance is underscored by the memories of their once promising connection, shared laughter at Kelly's diner, quiet confessions under the star snow tainted by his actions. Kai, overwhelmed by the magnitude of his loss, can only repeat how sorry he is, his apologies sounding hollow in the face of Trina's unwavering resolve. He watches her walk away, perhaps catching a fleeting glimpse of tears in her eyes, knowing he's destroyed something precious. For Trina, this isn't just the end of a romance, it's a lesson in guarding her heart against those who might wield her trust as a weapon. As she processes the hurt, she leans on her familiar Portia's comforting embrace, Curtis's protective presence, though even those relationships are strained by the scandal surrounding Curtis's actions. Meanwhile, Kai is left to navigate the ruins of his decision, questioning whether standing by his principles was worth the cost of losing Trina. The echoes of their fallout reverberate through Port Charles, a poignant reminder of how fragile trust can be in a town rife with hidden agendas. What lies ahead? Unanswered questions in Port Charles. As this dramatic arc unfolds, Port Charles braces for the aftershocks of Kai's betrayal and Curtis's exposed scheme. Will Drew indeed unveil the recording of Curtis's deal with Jacinda, cementing his vindication while plunging Curtis into legal jeopardy? How will Curtis and Portia weather the storm of public scrutiny, and can their marriage withstand the strain of his choices? Most critically, what does the future hold for Trina and Kay? Could there be a path to reconciliation, or is their love truly lost to the shadows of distrust? And as the truth about Kai's role in warning Drew comes to light, will others in Trina's circle judge her for her past with him, or rally to support her broken heart? The saga is far from over, with each decision and revelation poised to reshape alliances and rivalries in unexpected ways. Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel as we track every twist and turn of this captivating storyline. We're eager to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Drew will expose Curtis in a dramatic showdown? Is there any hope for Trina and Kai to mend their bond, or is this truly the end? Drop your predictions and opinions in the comments below.